fighter of the night, man. Champion of the sun. You're a master of karate and friendship for everyone. Yeah, man. Oh, fighter of the night, man. Oh, champion of the sun. Oh, you're a master of karate and friendship for everyone. Yeah, man. Oh, fighter of the night, man. Oh, champion of the sun. Oh, you're a master of karate and friendship for everyone. Yeah, man. Oh, fighter of the night, man. Oh, champion of the sun. Oh, a master of karate and friendship for everyone. Damn, man. Oh, fighter of the night, man. Oh, champion of the sun.
So we're now live.
We're live. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Nerdy Up North podcast. It's a nerdy podcast, and it's hosted by Northern Nerds. I am one of your hosts, Sam.
And I'm the host, Paul. And I bet you're sick of the sight of us this weekend because we've been non-stop streaming on a lot of different things. So I do apologise, but we do have a few new, prettier faces than mine and Sammy's, let's be honest. We've got the lovely, godlike, nerdy Jesus himself, Jake, who joined us yesterday. He's not on a time machine today. Like I say, we try to be funny, but I don't know how much that worked.
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious, yes. And we've got the returning Sonia, who is as gorgeous as ever with her new purple hair.
Hello.
Looking like she's on one of them memes where all the guys are standing behind her and she looks all innocent.
On the couch.
I wanted to make that joke before, but I wanted to see a live reaction, so yes. And we have a treat for you guys as well. We've got the living sex symbol himself. Everyone in the Discord that has been thirsting over for the last few weeks. And he has got his arms out as well for the gun show. So, oh, guys, look at that. Goodwill will be passing out as we speak.
Glistening in the sun.
Being on the fight milk.
It's been on the fight milk, yes. But yes, and this is Adam's official first appearance as well, because he did make an appearance before. Very sneakily,
Yes,
he joined in the community one, where it was a free-for-all, and he done rather well, even though he just spent the day saying, the Goonies are shit, the Goonies are shit. But it's not shit.
Paul never forgets.
I only said it 3 times, Paul, come on.
No, 3 times it broke me heart each time.
No, I'll give it a chance. I'll eventually watch it, don't worry.
Oh my god.
You're going to get Goonied soon now for that.
Probably, yeah.
But talking about
I
Photoshop,
deserve
because I haven't had a chance to Photoshop anyone in a while, and we have had a busy weekend. But
Yeah.
luckily, the Photoshop was provided not by me, but by the Discord people today. So when I saw that drop, I had to use it as well. So I'm going to put this on, and luckily the guys can see this now because we're trying to be all fancy, so they can all see the screen. So this was photoshopped for us today as well. So everyone, this was by our Lee, the leader of the Discord.
The Discord perverts, as we call them.
But let's be honest, how much of a Rolf Harris sex offender does Jake look like as Frank there, though?
Oh man, with the old Jake the Peg reference, it's all a circle.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
I'm creased. That is amazing.
Wow.
Yes. I wish
Damn
I
you,
could.
Lee.
I wish I could take credit for that, but no, that was all Lee. But we do have some business to pick up as well, because we did have a podcast only a few weeks ago that one of Sonia's close friends and close family members was on. Joe. He joined us. He broke his podcast virginity on the Pokemon episode, and he dropped some truth bombs about you, Sonia. So I just want to I just want to get your retaliation to what Joe claims did happen. So he said on the podcast that you forced him to give away his first edition Pokemon cards because you said they'd be worth fuck all. Now, is this true, Sonia, or is Joe making a monster out of you?
So I probably didn't say they'll be worth fuck all, but I did convince him to give them away. But he didn't have shinies. I still don't think they would have been worth that much. Maybe he did. I don't know. But I fancied a boy and I wanted to give them to him. He's probably like rich now.
Oh, amazing.
Right. So it was to feed a libido. So Joe had lost out his Pokemon cards, so Sonia could have a way. But yes,
It didn't even work.
Did you get it didn't work?
No, he just went, oh, thanks.
What a bastard.
Oh, so everyone lost that day apart from the guy with the Pokemon card.
Let's find him. Let's find that guy. Let's see if we can reach out. We'll find someone with the stickers on a bus stop. We can find the Pokemon guy. Let's do it.
Exactly.
So yes.
The gang does a heist.
So yes, Sammy, do you want to do your disclaimer as well?
Yes, let's get it out the way with. So everything discussed in today's episode is our opinions, and it's our opinions alone. If you'd like to discuss anything from today's episode, please come and join us in the Facebook group or the comments section, and we can have an open discussion. What we won't have is anyone coming for us and telling us our opinions are wrong. We can all agree to disagree in fandom. So let's keep it fun, keep it kind, and keep the toxic behaviour out of nerdism.
Yes. And please join our Discord as well. The Discord creeps, as we call them as well, are the funniest, weirdest bunch of people I've ever met. So
They are the best.
Yes, and I wonder what cereals Beth has eaten tonight. And I think we should have a new disclaimer tonight as well, after like what happened the other week.
Oh, good God, yeah.
Just saying that nobody was hurt or blinded during the making of this podcast. We will not be throwing anything into the audience as we did at Sunny Can, and the limp-wristed idiot that is Goodwill will not be thrown on this podcast. And next time he will be wearing an eye patch as well.
He's in podcast jail for being the most dangerous man on the planet.
Welcome to the danger zone, guys. But yes.
Yeah.
this episode, we have been planned for quite a while, but it has been moved around a few times just because timing issues or because we weren't thinking that timing was right. But I think with the new season starting in America, I don't think it started out over here yet. If you've got a dodgy stick and you know how to download torrents, you can watch the new season of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. But yes, and I knew as soon as we did this episode, like, I don't think, again, as many people have tried to catch on or do this episode, this was one of the more popular episodes that people wanted to be on.
Yeah.
But
And you lucky bunch got on.
Yes. Yes.
Does that mean we're like the worst members, like the ones who represent the gang?
Yeah. Because let's be honest, these are the worst people ever.
It is one of the most controversial shows in the last 10 years, I would dare say.
It definitely is.
Oh, absolutely. Especially when there's episodes that can't even be aired on Netflix because of how bad it is.
Yeah.
They've taken them out completely.
But when did you get like introduced into this show? Because I'll admit I'm a bit of a late bloomer because there's 15 seasons of this now, and I've probably caught on probably around season 9 or 10. And
I'm later than that. It's only been in the last couple of years. It was just literally on a whim.
Right.
We had nothing else to watch, and it kept popping up on me. I think my sister watches it, and she said it was funny. And we literally stuck the first episode on. Could not stop watching. Still to this day, it's one of the top 3 that we keep going back to. This, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and Big Bang. We will literally, the minute we finish, we'll go right back to the beginning again.
Yeah.
What about you, Sonia? When did you get introduced into the gang?
The same as you guys. So like, I'd seen a lot of clips. Like I'd seen scenes from it that I thought were hilarious, but there was no context. I'd never actually watched the show. And I think I was the same probably about season 10 or 11. I just binged the first season on Netflix. I was really hungover. It was a couch day. I needed something to put on. I just finished The Office. I was like, I need something new. And I thought I'll try it out, and I absolutely loved it. And I've actually had conversations with friends recently who say that they don't really like season 1, but for me, I absolutely loved season 1. That was my introduction into the show. It's because Danny DeVito's not there.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
it did take me it didn't grab me at first. Like I think with the season 1, as you said, the first episodes you didn't know quite what you were getting because it was pitched as a comedy, so. I think if I watched it from the start, I probably, like, as it came out, I wouldn't have stuck with it. But I think the amount of people that talk about it, and as you said, the clips that's been on, and when you hear about like the stuff that Danny DeVito's character get up to, and you're kind of waiting for him to appear, and it's like, well, who are these dickheads? Who are these bellends? Why are they going on about abortion? Why are they being racist? Why are they? Why is this just the most bizarre thing? But I didn't realize until I think we did an episode of the podcast and we talked about. I think Sammy, you were talking about It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, that this was made to be an anti-Friends.
Yeah, that's how they pitched it. They were like, if Friends were assholes, this is how they would be, and that's how they pitched it.
And that's kind of as soon as you said that, I got it, and I was like, yeah, that's the way I look at it now through that lens, and it becomes even more funnier, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
absolutely,
definitely helps.
And what about you?
It's a hard show to describe to people, isn't it? Because like if you try and recommend it, you're like,
it's like it's the worst of society.
Yeah, it's like
it's funniest.
Yeah, it's like you have to say like, well, it's about 5 of the worst people in the entire world, but don't worry, they never like win. You know, like they always like get the comeuppance at the end of whatever like scheme or anything. So it's not like glorifying anything. Like if anything, it's a cautionary tale every week.
Just don't go anywhere with these guys. What about you, Adam? How did you get introduced into this show?
Jake showed me it.
All right, so it's Jake's fault.
Yeah. We used to have like a designated lads' night, getting beers and pizza and stuff.
Yeah,
it must have been 2010, maybe.
I mean, you're the dates master, so you probably know.
It was July 2010. Well, it probably was.
But like, I just definitely tried it through a Netflix whim. Like, it wasn't anything. I don't think I'd even seen any clips, but I'd heard about it. But it was, I don't know, maybe there was about 9 or seasons or 10 at the time. But I think like when it clicked for me, it was like the one where Dee pretends to be handicapped to get a date.
But they all do.
Right. So like that was the one where I was like, okay, I get this show now. Like, everyone's awful. And then I was like, right, Adam needs to see this.
Yeah.
So,
and he showed us it, and I was just like, oh, I'm hooked on this. And then I just never stopped. Ever since then, I just watched every season. When I couldn't, I've rewatched seasons. I think I've rewatched some of the seasons like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I'm on me like a millionth run now. We're watching it right now.
Right.
but you're right, Paul. I rarely would go back and watch the first season.
Yeah,
like I've even watched it quite recently, and I don't
love the first season.
Yeah.
Me too.
It just doesn't stick in my memory very well. I don't think.
I think it's because they are a little bit more normal in the first one. They're actually more
less
humorous.
unhinged.
They're less, it's kind of like just the bell ends, but they're like, just getting on with their life, and they're just trying to like get by. That's when like the capers and the stories that they tell become just manic. But even though it's not like a linear show, like each episode of just the most random stuff happens, but the continuity through it is remarkable. Like if something happens, like even like Rickety Cricket's scars, they don't like kind of forget. Like you can see it growing, and like it never comes back and changes. Same with
you kind of need to watch it all, really, don't you? Like to get a lot of stuff.
You can't just jump in the middle with this one. You've got to go from the beginning. But it's funny, and I know this is not a Monsters episode, but I do have some facts on this.
Oh well, get the factoids out.
Get me back to. I just put the promotion chair to there. But yeah, so with season 2, they were doing all right. Like the levels were okay, but the studio was like, "Listen, we need to bring somebody in," and they were like, "Fuck no, no one's gonna work." And the minute the only name that came up was Danny DeVito, and they were like, "I kind of get it. I kind of get it." So it didn't take a lot of convincing to have Danny DeVito in. It did take a lot of convincing on Danny DeVito's side, though, but not his.
Tell you what, though, like I have to hand it to Danny DeVito, like because his career, like if you look at like his back catalogue of the stuff he's done, is up there with most people. Probably people don't realize like the work he's put in and like the work he's done.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And to come into this, like, let's be honest, like the people involved are lesser known, like people in the industry. They're not big names. He is the standout like star, but the stuff he does as well, and they get him to do, is just absolutely just comedy gold. But he looks like he's just having the best time of his life.
There's one scene where he's not having the best time, and it's the when they're in the ship and they all get put in prison, and the water rises and they all decide to go under. What they did was they had little weights in them to keep them down for a bit. But Danny couldn't get in. All they had to do was release the weight and they'd go up. Danny couldn't release his weight.
Oh god.
Oh my god. That's actually my nightmare. That's my worst.
And he was struggling to get up, but they didn't know if it's Frank or if it's Danny.
Yeah.
They couldn't tell. It took them a while. And when he eventually got out the water and had to get some assistance, he got dressed and he left.
No.
And he didn't come back to set for a couple of days. It scared the life out of him. He wasn't angry. It's just it really put the shits up him that because he just could not get this weight from under his leg. I watch a lot of their podcast as well, so I listen to a lot of their little box.
I basically watched an episode today, the Dennis System one today. I watched that one.
It's really good, isn't it? How they're kind of like giving you like backstories and everything, and you just don't realize how many friends they have in this group.
Oh yeah, I think like the only one I've watched is the Danny DeVito interview when they finally got him.
Great, that one.
So
that was super
good.
sweet. He's
So
like
nice.
such a nice guy, but like what Paul was saying, he's like a consummate like Hollywood professional. Like he will do what's in the script as long as he thinks it's funny, no matter how like embarrassing it ends up looking. But
they did
it's just because he doesn't care.
They did a live version of Dear Man, the actual show. It's on YouTube if anyone wants to watch it. But they had Rhea Perlman playing the old lady.
Oh wow!
It looked fucking fantastic, and the fact that the whole crowd are off their faces, like nobody is sober in that room whatsoever. But that live performance is brilliant. Just literally, Dear Man.
I love it on the podcast where Dennis get away. I can't keep calling Dennis like Glenn.
Mhm.
Keeps going, cut that when he says something horrible.
Yeah, cut that. And they've got the cut that signs all the way around the thingy as well. But yeah, their friends on there is so one of the brothers, what's the brothers called? The really weird ones.
Oh, the McPoyles.
McPoyles.
The McPoyles.
Yeah.
The main McPoyle was Charlie Day's roommate.
Yeah. I love that. And he's quite big as well, isn't he? In Hollywood.
He's done some some.
He was in Westworld.
Stuff.
Yeah. He's and Rickety Cricket is obviously a really good friend of theirs. The only one who wasn't is Dee.
Right.
She's the only outsider. Because obviously
you can tell
the
how they
waitress
treated
is
her
Charlie
as well.
Day's.
So
But the waitress is Charlie Day's wife. Dennis's wife's in there.
Mhm.
She's the pharmacist who does the
she was
his wife.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yes.
Paul
And
remembers.
obviously you've got Mac and Dee who are married in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
There you go. That's my
McPoyles.
interesting facts out the way with.
Very good, very good. But Jakes, 'cause I know we've had a break. So you got with it with the Netflix one, or did you see it before?
No, I never saw any. I mean, I might have heard a couple of things, but it was a really weird show. I don't think it had much presence in England until Netflix. And even then, I think it took them a few years to be like, "Ooh, people really like this."
Yeah.
Like Paul's got the artwork there, beside us. Netflix started doing photo shoots with them, or Fox did or whatever. But it started to get a big push. I think
the artwork, with the posters. That's when I was looking through to do the artwork for for our intro and stuff. The artwork is some of the best I've seen for promos for comedies. There was the Friday the 13th one was just amazing.
Oh,
it's got enough to do with the season.
No, absolutely nothing.
Though.
Well, there is an episode where they kind of have a bit of it's almost like a horror movie with the McPoyles wedding.
Oh god, yeah.
That's so good.
You kind of have
With the spiked
horror
bath salts and that.
element.
Oh.
when he walks
And then
in
that
the room,
ends up in the courtroom case, Paul was saying, the continuity, it ends up they have to do the court case about it afterwards with the bird law and everything.
Bird law.
And the guy with the giant hat.
Nobody look! Nobody look!
Take his eyes.
but as you said with the continuity, the stuff I love is Dennis's ex-wife. How she starts becoming a cat.
Oh my god, yeah, it's Catherine Reitman.
Yeah, every time you see her, she becomes more cat-like. She's got whiskers and her eyes are changing.
It's horrible, yeah.
It's the dead tooth, man. The dead tooth. And they have that whole making a murderer episode.
Oh god, yeah, when he's just staring into the camera.
Making a Dennis, because obviously
Dennis,
the best character progression throughout this whole thing is Dennis, because he clearly isn't. He's a sociopath, potentially a murderer,
yes,
serial killer. It's when he starts screaming for his tools at the prom. I need my tools.
But
Dennis, I love that. Have you seen the outtakes of that scene where they can't hold it together?
Yeah. No.
It's so funny. Every time he shouts tools, they all just Danny DeVito's the only one in most outtakes who just keeps his composure. But the rest of them, they're just and in some of the actual physical episodes, if you watch carefully, you can see Mac turning away, laughing because he can't because Dennis is just so unhinged.
It's scary though. Dennis's turn, going from where he starts as just being an arrogant little rich kid prick to
the progression, isn't it?
To the more psychotic where he. I think there was an episode where he controls what they eat, and Mac's I'm eating this salad, and he's like, yes, because I'm the refined palate. I choose what everyone wants, and he's like, no, you can have some fries, and Mac's so excited because someone said he can have fries, and you can see Dennis just raging and the rage building up inside him as well. He is the angriest man alive.
But the drip feed stuff that if you say it out loud, people will be like, "Why are you watching that show?" About how he films everyone who comes into his apartment. You say the hints towards him, doing horror.
It's when he tells Dee. What he tells Dee he's going to skin her and wear it and make her skin into in a suitcase. And she's just sitting there going. You bitch. I love the way you say it, you bitch.
You stupid bitch.
But the episode where him and Mac move into the suburbs.
I love that
one. It's my favourite moments of Dennis, especially when he's that beep. And he's going, can you not hear that beep? And he's like, I've been here. I can hear it the whole goddamn time. That's screaming when he rages in his own head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the man, that just went to prove to me how dangerous Dennis actually is.
Yeah.
But like, even
fair,
just
though,
when he's like doing his work commute and he's just like raging in the
You
car.
cow!
Like, we've all been there.
I do
When
think
he's eating his cereal in
Yeah.
the car
Yeah.
with a bowl.
Oh yeah.
I do think Dennis is a bit of a cautionary tale, though. That's the thing, because I can see anyone progressing into that, like,
Yes.
like quite easily. Just the little things. I could definitely see that. I would like sex pest Donna turning into Dennis at some point and start killing people.
It's like that guy who's like obsessed with like, you know, like body image and stuff. Like you can
Yeah.
definitely see bits of him in people you've met in real life.
Yeah.
That's the scary part.
Yeah.
It's
But,
true.
but talking about the characters as well, I know this is going to be a hard one for everyone, but who is your favorite character in the show?
Charlie.
Dennis.
Charlie.
So Sonia's saying Charlie. Why Charlie?
He's just insane. Like, but like he's like the opposite kind of insane to Dennis. Like
Yeah.
just
Like
as
innocent
innocent, but
insane.
in an innocent way. And
Yeah.
like I don't want to jump ahead and talk about favorite episodes because I feel like that might come up.
Oh,
but
well, don't worry, yeah.
one of my favorite episodes is centered on Charlie and like how smart he is in his stupid way.
Yeah.
In,
And, like,
in Charlie's world.
In Charlie's world, yeah. Like I
Yes.
just
King of the Rats.
absolutely, I just love him. I love everything, and he's got an incredible voice. And I feel
Yeah.
like
Oh, God,
Yes.
some of the singing scenes with him are like some of my favorite moments.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I love Charlie episodes.
He's one of those people who has that rare ability of being able to pick an instrument up and just play it.
Yeah.
yeah.
He's so fucking talented.
That's
Um,
but it's quite interesting though as well what you're saying, Charlie, because as Jake said, these people are the worst of society. But I don't.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think Charlie is. I think Charlie's just very, very innocent.
Yeah,
He's
just
like the innocent friend
follow
that
the
gets
crowd.
taken advantage by. Because like
Yeah.
with-
There's an
Possibly.
episode when they're talking about their steaks in the pub, and you find out that Charlie put the most
Has
into
none.
it, but he's got no like return, and they've made him the
No.
cleaner, and he's just going, yeah, like fine, And, like he's just totally taken advantage of.
You give his shares for a sandwich.
yes.
I think like by negligence though he does like some bad things. Like he leaves, you know, he's left people in horrible situations and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But he's not like
Wild
calculated.
card, bitches.
Just literally watch that episode.
That's great, that one.
That's such a
Yeah,
good...
saying that though, the stalking and the terrorizing of the waitress is
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
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 Also, he manages to. He almost gets it. He almost gets the life,
Mhm.
especially with that girl that he meets, one of the rich girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he dumps it all for her.
Mhm.
Oh,
But we've all done that. We've all like,
My
made mistakes.
I do love Charlie. I
Yeah.
have a lot of love for Charlie. I think Charlie has one of the best screams.
Mhm.
Yeah.
His scream needs to be archived and used in future films because
yeah.
we just watched the episode with Charlie and Matt get murdered, and it's the car scene. Me and my husband will literally watch that scene and go back and watch it again.
Yeah.
And it's all for different reasons. I'm laughing my arse off because Charlie is screaming hysterically. Even when he picks Mac up, he's still screaming. And Ant's laughing because Mac, when he opens the door and he's like, "What happened?" He's like, "I'm fine."
Yeah, that's a great one.
I always laugh as well when they take Charlie out for the day because they think it's his birthday and they're trying to
Yeah.
do it like a
Oh,
surprise
yeah.
birthday. And
What's your
they-
guys' policy on spaghetti?
spaghetti and takes him to the cinema. But then ends up in the sauna and he's refusing to take
yes.
his clothes off. But then he starts like getting like hyper like overheated and he starts saying, "Rats, I'm a rat. Don't bash me, Frank. Don't bash me." And he's going in like hysterics. He's like starting to live himself as a rat. But
Is that the same one where they do his dream journal in
Yes.
Yes.
as well?
Yeah.
It comes back, is it might be denim chicken?
Demon chicken. But yes,
That
but-
worm hat man or something. Like, I
Right.
couldn't tell if it was a worm with a hat or a man with a worm hat.
well, Sam, you said Dennis is your favorite.
Dennis,
So
absolutely.
is this because of like the sex scenes, the facial expressions afterwards?
All of
does that
it.
rock you there?
American Psycho.
What
scenes.
really cemented my love for Dennis was the nightclub scenes
Oh,
when
God.
he's dancing
Yeah.
and he's off his face.
Yeah.
I absolutely love him. He's like I say, when it comes to character progression, he has, even if it's not going in the direction we would like it to, and it's completely opposite to how characters should progress in their arc. His is so fucking brilliant. The fact that he goes from rich kid to sociopath, and there's like a little journey all the way through it to get
Hooked
you to
on
it.
crack.
Yeah, hooked on crack.
God, what did they come
Someone
back
get
heads?
addicted to crack.
One crack rock, please.
One.
Oh,
Just the
God.
one. And the way he says the word bitch
Yeah.
is just perfection.
It's the pronunciations. Amazing.
Yeah, he proper goes for it. For me, he's absolutely fantastic, even though he is the fucking worst.
Yeah.
The latest season, well, not the one that's been aired, the one where they're in Ireland and he gets
Oh,
COVID.
yes.
It's just
yeah.
some of the craziest
I was-
shit I've ever
I
seen.
was gone off that one.
A lot of
Isn't-
people didn't like that series. I really enjoyed it.
I
loved
enjoyed it.
Absolutely loved it.
I enjoyed it.
Was it the same? Was that the same season where it's like Dee's birthday and they're not allowed to make fun of her, and she makes him like not wear his makeup? He like looks horrible. He looks like ill and stuff like that.
That was called D-Day. That one that can't be aired anymore because of when they did Frank was like black faced up being Martina
Oh, is
Martinez.
that one?
Right.
Okay.
There's that
And he
one,
spews up
and
because
then
he's in all the
there's-
shrimp.
But then there's two where they reenact Lethal Weapon.
Yes.
And you can't find them on Netflix. I've watched them.
I mean, they were on there. They were on there at some point because I've
At
seen
some point,
them.
they have definitely
Yeah.
taken them off because D blackface is on that
Yep.
one.
Is this now Disney? Is this is Fox, right?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
Because they changed, didn't they?
Yeah.
They changed thingies.
I don't know. It had FX logos on, but maybe that's like UK's Fox
No,
channel.
oh,
So
I
who
have no
knows? I
idea.
guess.
I think
point, I
with
don't know.
Disney, there was still the stuff that haven't got everything on Disney Plus yet that Fox did because Netflix would have paid for a certain length of time, so they're probably just
Yeah.
waiting for that contract to run out. Then we'll get Only Sunny on Disney Plus, and that'll be the most unhinged
Really
Disney
good
Plus
fit.
release ever as well.
Yeah, that works there.
But my favorite Dennis episode, and again, it's such a wrong episode, is when he gets mistaken as a child sex offender.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And he's walking around and he's like getting so much abuse and stuff like that. And when he meets the guy that looks like Dennis, it's just like a chubbier version of him. And he's just like, you've got to tell everyone it's not me. And he's like, well, I'm quite liking not getting the abuse. It's good. I'm walking around free, looking at all those lovely children, and it's like, oh, this is so wrong. But
I
yes.
think I know the moment where Dennis might have like started to think of serial killers is the episode with the serial killer, when Dee's friend who works in the DIY shop turns out to, well, they think Mac's the serial killer,
Yeah.
and it's not.
Yeah.
It's him. And I think something in that episode, Dennis just looks too delirious, like picking up kind of tips. But I do think he's a serial killer.
Well,
I really do think he's done something.
I think that'll be the end point where, like, say, Dee's all chopped up and Dennis is just sitting there smiling or something like that. But but what about you, Jake? What was your favorite character?
Oh, it's got to be Frank. Danny DeVito's too good.
He has so many highlights, though, does Frank.
I know. Even just this screen behind me, like when they put on the stupid wrestling event, which obviously I love wrestling, and there's very little wrestling in that episode apart from Roddy Piper's in it.
Yeah, Roddy Piper's in it.
He was amazing in this episode as well.
Would that have been that must have been his last appearance in anything, like doing
Probably.
this show.
Not too long ago,
Probably.
yeah. Because I know he went to
Yeah.
TNA for a bit as well, I think, before he died.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right.
Okay.
sad.
But yeah, like because in this he's like a unhinged like ex wrestler, which it's like kind of like real
Yeah.
life, I
Like
guess.
Yeah.
living in his car and that.
It's like,
Yeah,
But he
which-
comes across as really sweet, though. Like,
Yeah, I
he
mean
didn't
that's
come
Roddy
across
Piper
awful.
to a T, really, kind of like
Mhm.
angry but a nice guy, but very
Yeah.
very angry past and everything. But yeah, like Frank's just like Paul was saying, like he'll do anything and they go everywhere with it. Like
Yeah.
I don't think they've probably never said no to like any horrible jokes.
Well, Probably not.
But just like the relationship with him and Charlie when they've got like the weird like nighttime routines and stuff.
What was it?
Like
What,
how they
what's
play
the game they play?
Nightcrawlers and-
Nightcrawlers, that's the one.
Yeah.
Crawlers, and
And
the episode with the shit in the bed.
And the
Oh,
toy
yeah.
knife.
Oh my god, that's such a good episode.
The toe knife
I
as well.
love
He's
how-
like, botched it.
What's the name of that character, Dee's friend? I always forget her name.
Artemis, I
Artemis,
think.
yes.
Artemis.
Artemis.
Love Artemis.
That is her real name as well. And
She's
again,
awesome.
she's an old friend of theirs.
Oh,
Right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
She doesn't get used enough.
She
No.
doesn't.
She
doesn't.
does buy, she
Funny,
does buy Frank though, so
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
But the episode with the hooker, when Frank wants to marry her, that woman
Roxy.
is hilarious.
Oh,
Roxy,
yeah.
she is so funny. When she goes into the shop and she starts getting all her money out because she wants the white jacket.
Yeah.
I can't think of what she calls the guy, but it's absolutely hilarious, and the way she talks.
oh,
Yeah, but like
Oh.
Frank's basically like the money man, which makes the schemes accelerate like to a point
Yes.
where they can kind of do anything because they've now got a character who can like facilitate like crazier and crazier storylines.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
hope
Yeah.
he was paid a bonus though for the couch scene though, because like
My
that
god,
Oh,
it's so
God.
good.
that
That is fucking hilarious.
that is just one of the best things that I've ever seen. But
oh.
It's even better that nobody cares or knows what's
No,
happening
yeah,
in the
nobody
party.
gives a
No
shit
one
around
knows who
them.
he is.
no, I would have
Because
just
what did
been.
they want him to do? It's like it's the three ghosts, isn't it? They're looking to do like a whole Christmas Carol thing with them.
It's like, I'm going to take you to the Christmas party, and they're going to tell you that like Frank's an arsehole. But he's in the couch. You don't even realize that he's naked in the couch though as well. So when he starts being birthed from it, you just thought, "Oh my god, what
It's
is
just-
happening?"
It's how disgusting Danny DeVito can make a scene that if anyone else did it wouldn't be as disgusting.
No,
So true.
no,
Just
not
when he's
at all.
he's even horrible just eating and drinking, which he does
Yeah.
on this show.
Oh, the bloody sausage, the sausage
scene
pocket,
of the,
pocket sausage.
When he's drinking the cans outside the house and he's just like burping and like being sick while he's
And
doing
he's like,
it.
"What's
I'm
it to you?"
like,
Get-
"Oh."
It really didn't take him long from coming in as Frank and from Dennis and Dee's dad to then go change into complete debauchery. Like
Well,
it didn't.
yeah.
It's like he was always like that.
Yeah, like the scene that changed him was when he found out that that she was cheating on him in the restaurant.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, somebody's gonna get stabbed," and then the other.
And just how like how he has that progression where he's like, because there's the one where he like loses his memory and goes back to like
Oh.
season 2 Frank.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It has to happen like all over again. Like he has to like become the character again.
It doesn't take him very long. When he's with the solicitor,
Yes.
who's just told him his wife's died, and he's like, "You tell that all." It's fuck-
He's like,
I can't tell her anything.
Yeah, that lawyer's a great recurrent character
I
who just
love that
hates
lawyer.
dealing with them.
Yeah.
They call him the Jew lawyer, and he's like, "I'm not even Jewish."
And there's that one where it's like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest parody where like
yeah.
he's in therapy talking about the frog kid.
and he was getting talking about, and it was like, "You were Frank the Frog."
It was
Yeah.
such a good callback because obviously Danny DeVito is in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So
Yeah.
I thought that was such a lovely callback to one of his first breakout movies. I do love Frank. Do you know what though? You can go through every character now apart from D. I'll be like, oh yeah, there's something I really like about them because
Oh, I love D.
I
though.
love D.
Yeah.
There is no redeeming quality in that woman. She is the
I think-
worst.
No,
I know, but, you can
comedy.
blame it for
I
a
love
head
our
injury
comedy.
though. A head injury though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
She was
yeah.
nice D, sweet
She was
D.
sweet D, yeah.
Sweet D.
She
Do you
was.
know
No,
that's
I
actually-
love when she
that's-
like retches when she's trying
Oh,
to like,
dry heaving.
so funny.
But
It's
the
the most
head
accurate
injury-
retching I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's amazing every time.
The head injury is a callback to an actual head injury she had, which
Oh, right.
is why she says her face changed from season 1 to the seasons where you go just a little bit further down, and Dee has a completely different face. She had a bit of a nasty accident.
Oh, I didn't know
okay.
that.
Yeah,
Like a Mark
she did
Hamill
actually have a nasty
situation.
accident. She's she did have a really nasty accident, but that's what she says the surgery was for, was to she could correct. She had the money now to correct some mistakes from that accident.
Right. Okay.
But I think she looks fucking phenomenal.
Oh,
Like,
definitely.
It's like the
Absolutely.
it's the really bad comedy impression she does, like when they're doing like St. Patrick's Day and stuff like that. And a horrible Irish character, and she always just goes like too far into like the realism of the character.
It's
Like,
when they
Watch me, Paddy.
it's when they think when they actually go out of their way to make her think she's made it as a
Oh
comedian.
no, that
Oh,
episode
yeah.
really gets to us. Like, I hate them all, but I feel so sorry for her. Like,
it's
it's
so
awful.
funny.
She really thinks she's made it, and then you're
Oh.
just like,
Oh yeah.
What about you, Adam? What's your favorite character?
Oh, it's a really tough one because I love Dennis and I love Frank, and I don't know which one. I think it's going to have to be Frank because I feel like I wouldn't have stopped around as long if Frank wasn't in it.
Yeah,
Right.
100%.
Yeah,
I don't think
maybe.
it would have had the legs without Frank.
No.
Yeah, because I mean, Dennis, that his unhingedness and the way he's just developed as a character throughout has been amazing. And Glenn Howerton's delivery on the psychotic parts is just absolutely flawless. But I think it's just Danny DeVito's like comedy that brings it to the next level.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's just something special, isn't it? There's no replication when it comes to Danny DeVito's portrayal of Frank. There's nobody who could come in and do what he does.
I just think it's a look in his eyes at times. You just know crazy shit's going to happen just from the way that the look on Frank's face. You just think, oh, fuck, what's going to happen in the next scene?
It's when he keeps saying he went to Vietnam, and they're like, you went there for a business meeting.
for Wolf Cola.
Even when they went to bloody Ireland, it was like, oh yeah, this is the like a tax haven I built up with the Epsteins. I was like, fucking hell. Went there.
I tell you what I would have liked to have seen was actually the whole payoff of Frank actually being Charlie's father.
Yeah.
I think
I don't know. I don't care about that stuff. I feel like it's funnier if it never makes sense in the end, like if they just dance around it forever.
His mum went for an abortion and then he failed.
You're an abortion survivor, Charlie. Oh, it's okay. I tried to kill your kid, but you survived. I'm happy
I
you're
feel
here.
like we should have put a warning on this episode.
Yeah.
There's a certain amount of words that are going to be used.
Well,
To be fair, they should know. They should know.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I
Yeah.
know.
But yes.
Like for me, it's like the things that like the Being Frank episode.
Oh, it's first person.
Yeah. And he when he walks into Artemis's apartment and he takes the fucking what was it? Is it like horse tranquilizers or something? Or
Yeah.
and he's like, here's Frankie in the mirror, and that drum bass music starts, and it's just get out my way, Jew, like that.
It's when he
Remember,
drops
these are all
acid.
quotes, people.
It's when he drops acid. So they go to the stadium and he's gonna have like his whole like Woodstock moment, but again, as he did in Woodstock, he drops acid and gets stuck in the toilet.
toilet. Yeah.
Oh, as Sonia said before, I know we're talking about like favorite episodes. There's so many that you could like actually name as a
there's
favorite
loads.
episodes.
Yeah.
But some of the highlights, like one of the ones I love is not the because it was like a two-parter. When the Phillies won the Super Bowl. But it's not the first part where you see them.
It's
It's
the
the second part
part
where you see what Charlie puts himself
Charlie
through.
was doing.
And Charlie puts himself in the trap, and it's like it's the most violent aspect, but it shows you how unhinged and how crazy Charlie would go for them elements. But I absolutely love that. But the other one that was a highlight, and it's quite a subtle episode. Well, not subtle. It's like subtle for these guys.
Say, is any of them subtle?
I know, it's like
Was when Charlie and Frank goes to the restaurant, and then Mac and
just stare from across the
stare
room.
like, I'll send them a glass of wine. I'll send them a bottle of wine. It's like this is the big money move and stuff. And Charlie's like, can we just go over and talk to them? It's like, Frank, no, they've got to come to us. It's like you're trying to play a big boss one, but it's just the subtle nuances and like the little elements of comedy that. Because that's what this show does well. It does every type of forms of comedy. It does slapstick. It does out there, but it does clever comedy as well. That I think it doesn't really get the cut. But that episode there is one of the highlights.
Yeah.
I think we missed a character's name that really deserves a mention because they are fucking phenomenal. Country Mac. Country
You're going to
Mac.
say Mac, no, Country Mac.
No.
Oh, you mean
Mac
Ronald
is-
McDonald?
McDonald, please don't.
But to be fair though, Rob McNally, he needs an award for the commitment. Like he actually
Yes.
put
The
the weight
body
on.
changes, yeah.
The
They
amount
didn't
of-
ask him to do that though. Nobody asked him. When they talk about it on their podcast, they're like, "Why did you do it?" And he went, "Well, because I thought it'd be great for the character." Like, yeah, Rob, but we didn't ask you to do it. Nobody gave a shit. We didn't care if you could put it on, and we didn't care that you could lose it either.
You
Got
made a really,
diabetes.
really good point, though. I totally agree with. And again, remember thinking about it being like an anti-Friends. He said in these shows, if you look at the first season and then you look at the last season, the characters get more and more attractive as time goes by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're wearing better clothes. They look, their skin's brighter. And he was like,
Yeah.
"What if we did the opposite? What if I got progressively fatter
Yeah.
and less like attractive?"
And
But,
Frank's hair got worse.
yeah.
as it goes
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, but like, yeah, the obviously Caitlin said that she preferred him when he was bigger. She actually liked how
Yeah.
he, like, as a husband.
Oh,
But yeah, I love that. I think that's such a good concept, and it's so
I
brilliant.
loved his commitment to it, but I love the fact that the other two were like, "We didn't give a shit.
Well,
we didn't ask you to do this."
He also
Um,
kind of did it to like bite back at like Hollywood, like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
attitudes to like men, where they're like, "Oh, you've got to go on an insane training regimen, or otherwise you're not as cool as like Hugh Jackman."
Do you know what? For all, Mac's not one of my favorite characters. Rob McElhenney is one of my favorite people.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's just such a
Amazing.
sweetheart, and he completely gets comedy. If you've ever watched his other program, the gaming one,
Mythical Quest, I think.
That's
it's
oh,
right.
it is it is fucking
I've never seen it.
phenomenal. It is so good, so well written. He's an arsehole in it, but he plays arsehole. It's like a lovable arsehole, but he plays it
Yeah.
so well. I'd recommend watching it. It's very good.
I'm going to go a little bit off kilter with this type of podcast. I love the documentary Welcome to Wrexham.
Right, I still haven't watched it yet.
Haven't
Yeah.
finished it yet. Haven't
Yeah.
finished it.
It was such a good thing, and him and Ryan Reynolds. If you haven't watched it, I know a lot of nerds might not have watched sports stuff. So it is a good documentary to watch, because it's basically they go out and buy, like I say, well, at the time it's a big football club in a small league, so they got pretty much a good decent deal. But I thought it was hilarious that it was all his idea, everything like thing. But but everyone gravitates towards was Ryan Reynolds. But the
Yeah.
reason why he got Ryan Reynolds was involved is because he said, "I've got TV money. TV money doesn't buy football clubs, and
he's
money
got the
doesn't
money.
buy thing." I needed movie star money, and that's why Ryan Reynolds was brought on, and was meant to be like a partner. But it's hilarious to see him getting so engrossed, because he's from, like I say, Pitt. It's Pitt.
He's the only one from Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. So he gets it because it's like a small, like, and Wrexham like runs the same type of thing. But if you see how engrossed and how involved and how like just a nice guy he is,
Passion.
but it's hilarious to see him getting jealous of Ryan Reynolds all the way through this show as well,
Yeah.
because Ryan Reynolds gets all the attention. Like even when he goes in, like say all the footballers see Ryan Reynolds, and he's like, "Yeah, this was my idea. Thanks, Ryan."
Yeah. I loved his reasoning behind Wrexham, because I kept asking Antoine while watching it, why this team? Why out of all the teams, why this one?
Because it's
And
affordable.
well, that was it. But Robert said when the fact that the whole community is built around this football team.
Yeah.
So the whole community are involved within the team, and he just saw Philadelphia in that, because that's all Philadelphia is based around, is their sports. I just love that. I haven't finished it, and it's not for any other reason than something else came up. Like
I did hear a rumor as well, and again, like say a little bit nice local history, that the Netflix show, the Sunderland one, was a big factor in him buying the thing.
Yes.
So
he did.
Really?
Nice. He said that before. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
He watched the Netflix show and was like, "This sport and these fans are that passionate. I want to be involved." Like, I know, not to sound big-headed, it would have cost him a lot more to buy Sunderland's football club than buy like a team like Wrexham. But we were the kind of the inspiration behind him going down that route.
oh my,
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I love that.
That's actually amazing.
But like I say, Mac isn't my favorite character, but Rob McElhenney is the best. But Country Mac,
is that Sean William Scott?
Yeah.
yes, the absolute anti-opposite to Mac in every sense. Like everything goes right for him when he's doing the jump off the bridge.
Yeah,
like Mac's like trying to. He's just saying, "I'm gonna run up and do this and spin a minute," but I'm not really. And then fucking Country Mac just does it. Gets out the water, cracks a beer open.
Goes in like karate competition, wins a karate competition or something.
Yeah, well, I hated him the same way Mac did because I was like, he's not supposed to be here. He's an imposter.
But the speech in the auditorium where he's talking, because obviously Mac is a closeted gay, and uses religion to closet himself a lot. And the fact that Country Mac just like that whole speech about how everything should be like, it's everything should be happy, you shouldn't have to repent as much as you think you should, Mac. I just loved that. Hated the fact he died. Pissed me pants laughing at it, but hated the fact that we wouldn't see Country Mac again. But I loved it.
But that's a good like little tangent we could go into as well, because rather than going into best episodes yet, what about best like recurring characters or best cameos as well?
That's a good question,
because there's so many good ones in this, like going from like the waiter that always seems to like
the waiter.
It's just
guy. He even
the
changes
waiter.
jobs, even changes complete professions, and he still manages to get in their way.
I felt sorry for him when he was on the flight. That was just so.
The flight.
It was horrible.
That waiter is in he's in an earlier episode where they're applying to work in the school, or not a school. They're applying for a job, Mac and Charlie, and he interviews them.
Right.
Yeah,
and he made them laugh so much that they created the character of the waiter for him.
Right.
All right.
They had him on the
actually
podcast.
amazing.
They had him on the podcast, and he literally just expected just that little moment, and he really didn't think anything of it. And then they were like, "No, we want you back, and we will try and get you back as much as we can." He is a lovely guy. That episode was such a nice thing. Bloody Michael, and he's fucking. Is that you?
No, it's not me. It's Goodwill. Goodwill's joined the chat. So
he blocks my thingies.
He's put up a little thing saying, "Is Adam a giant, handsome hunk of God?" So
the golden god.
I am a golden god.
5-star man.
I'm a 5-star man.
But yes.
So the only answer that can be put is yes.
Well, yes, or you need a Kleenex as well. So apparently you're making the chat moist, Adam. There, so it's fine.
Oh man.
But yes, probably I'm gonna jump ahead, like saying, like rather than ask you guys. Probably my favorite recurring character though is Rickety Cricket. Just the progression.
He's disgusting, isn't he? Like...
the episode where he's got a ringworm and he's pretending he's pretending he's a priest again, but he's like got all the jewelry underneath.
When his dad comes back and tries to get him like to come back,
and
he thinks he thinks found a girl, and it's his fucking dad's golden retriever.
It was the worst reveal ever.
It was the best.
Oh no!
It just he's like one of the main examples of like how like the gang are like a corrupting element that. Like I mean the toxic, I guess you have to say.
Yeah, like their lives have stayed the same, but they've totally ruined his, and there's no way of getting that life back.
He doesn't want it. He doesn't even want it back at this point.
At this point, he's it's almost like he grew into it and he was happy with what happened in the end. Some of the situations to put him in hunting cricket. That was brilliant. When they decided to hunt cricket, or the dance off when he has his animated with his legs.
Yeah.
He gets robot legs, but then manages to short circuit himself.
and it's all Dee's fault. Like
all Dee.
All
She's
Dee.
the
This
worst.
is yes, but like going back to when Jake mentioned the wrestling episode when they got cricket involved as like a terrorist, and then he's like, full of treats, and he starts kicking them all over because because all of them are pussies.
Because he's actually a fighter,
and he survives on the streets. Then the trash man takes him out, and that cut on the neck. Fuck me, that was brutal as out.
The physical comedy of that guy is unreal. I can't remember his name. He's also in Mythic Quest as well. Mm-hmm. He plays Max.
What's his name?
Boss. But honestly, the physical comedy out of him is just perfection. He's brilliant. I want to see, and I'm glad he's a character that kind of is not
He's
like
so
an
funny.
Artemis.
Yeah.
Who doesn't kind of forget, like he will appear like every
season.
other episode.
Yeah, like
I heard
often.
he's gonna always be, and I love that. I do wish they'd use Artemis more.
Yeah.
It's David Hornsby, that's his name.
Right.
Oh
That's
yeah,
him.
that's
But
right.
I still
Yeah.
The
laugh.
scene where he's eating the lemons and he's like, oh.
Like,
But the crazy thing, like, when they get him to sell like drugs for them to try and get like pay back the drug dealers, and they come
Yeah.
back and he like oh, Cricket's a low life. He knows low life, so he'll be able to get the money. And the same, and he's all high on the drugs, and he's playing like the trash cans. He's like, "Where's the money?" He's like, "I traded the money in for these cool drums." And they're like, "What the fuck?" And he's just like proper out of it, and he's like, "Guys, we need to get more." And he's like, "Oh, just go away." But yeah, so what about you guys? Who other is your favorite like recurring characters?
The McPoyles.
The
oh
McPoyles.
God, yeah.
Which
The
one?
McPoyles.
The whole family or the
Not
sister?
Ryan, the other one. Oh, the sister E. When she, I kept doing that Ant the other day, and he got really disturbed. But no, the brother, the main one, not Ryan. The
He's
other one. I
dead.
It's when he gets
I
stabbed.
say that all the time.
When he gets stabbed, stab him.
But
That
the
part,
Look
though,
at
when-
her.
that part where he's hanging off the roof though, and Frank like knocks him down with that big stick.
Yeah.
It's just so like funny. Like
So funny.
and he thinks he's died, but he's just like dropped about like 10 feet. on
Yeah,
the
and he just lands
ground.
on his feet. And he's like,
I think we mentioned as well the McPoyle wedding when like the two brothers have fallen out and they're going to think,
God.
and then when you walk in the room after the making up and you see him standing there and the guy's on his knees and his head's just bobbing, you're like, what?
Oh,
After
no.
went there and it's like it was just like a bit, but honestly, like, you think how far they will push it. But also the Super Bowl, not the Super Bowl, the Eagles tryout when they're trying to do when they're trying to do an Invincible. And they're all there, and Frank's like in the bin, shitting in a bin because he's high on LSD, and Charlie's being Green Man. But it's
Green Man.
It's just
Forgot about Green Man.
the whole family of the McPoyles though as well.
They
Oh, just
are
vile.
brilliant. The vile,
Yeah.
but the brilliant.
How they managed to make like a zombie apocalypse episode out of like a wedding episode.
Yes.
It's just amazing.
To be fair though, I do think like that's what the families will be like in Middlesbrough. So Goodwill will probably be able to tell us more about that if the McCoyles are
Yeah,
from
we should have
Borough.
had Goodwill on just to get that point of view.
The patriarch of the Goodwill clan with his bird.
Who was that? That was someone famous. The patriarch. It was.
I think
it was Benicio. No.
Yeah, no.
It was
Guillermo
Camilo del Toro.
Del
Yes.
Toro, yeah.
Was it really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh.
I knew that. I knew it was someone famous. I know this
Forgot
program
about
better than I thought.
What about you, Jake?
Like recurring characters.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I mean, you guys have picked a bunch of them, but like Charlie's weird uncle with his giant hands always makes me laugh.
Yeah.
And I guess he's actually the night man. Like,
Yeah, when
he
you think
is the
about
night
it,
man. I
back
never
the
thought
story.
of that.
Yeah.
Oh.
You didn't get it.
when the episode of like Charlie's being molested.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
And-
God.
When
And you
did-
see
when
his
did he touch
face,
you?
and you see his face. He's looking over. He's all anxious. It's like, oh god, here we go.
But like, how do they make a character like that funny?
Show us on the doll where you got touched, and his uncle's just like, "Yeah, Charlie, show us."
Yeah, where did he touch you, Charlie?
But how his hands just keep getting bigger like every time he comes back as well, because he's got a weird phobia about people seeing his
think I'm
tiny
broken.
hands.
Honestly, sometimes I will just watch that scene where he's shouting, "Don't look, don't look,"
Yeah.
because one of his hand flies across the courtroom and he's like running, hiding it, trying to get nobody look. It's the best.
But like, it's like this show's absolutely an exercise in like you've got to enjoy the comedy and not feel bad about what you're laughing at.
Yeah.
It's all horrible, but it's not your fault
Yeah.
for laughing at it.
Yeah.
It's their fault.
No,
It's-
no, they've
you
already
can't
put
help
it out there, so
Yeah.
it's like it's okay.
That's a good point as well, because there's so much like cancel culture saying, "Oh, you can't say jokes about that. I can't say jokes that you're not meant to laugh at this type of thing." But I think when people do make this type of comedy, and again, there's no harm and there's no malice behind it, it makes it okay to have these thoughts again, and like make that humor okay again as well. I'm not saying everyone should go around in blackface and everyone should go back to like the make gay slurs and like innuendos and stuff, but even then it's got redeeming features. Like at the start there's a lot of like trans jokes because Mac's dating a trans
that's just been brought up in there by the absolutely beautiful Brittany Daniels as well. Fuck me.
But then they bring it back from when Dee gives birth and gives the baby to them and says, oh, they'll make great parents. So it's even making jokes about it, it's like a nice little nod and say that kind of not to slate it as well.
There's
like comedy.
Sorry, Jeff.
I was just gonna say comedy always ages horribly, but I think they have tried to fix a few things. But like even Big Bang was making like copious trans jokes for no reason as well, like no good reason. Like in the show, it was just kind of like a thing, I guess, in the 2000s for some reason. But like and like I was saying earlier, they never show the gang in a good light at the end of it.
Never
really glorify anything. And I think if you take that, you take like the wrong message.
Definitely.
Absolutely. You're not watching this show, really, are you? There's one thing that they don't do.
I'm just gonna pop and get a drink. 2 seconds. That's all right.
Yeah, no worries, Adam.
Just give the chat a chance to watch your walk away.
Watch them go, guys. There's one thing that they won't do is they don't do homophobic jokes.
No.
To a certain degree because of Rob McElhenney's parentage.
Yeah.
Because he was raised by 2 women. And that's one thing he will kind of draw the line at.
I always loved the episode where it's the lottery ticket episode where they go to see the lawyer to decide who gets the winnings.
Oh yeah.
And they bring out Mac's bike and it's got like the dildo going up and down the seat. But they all sort of like allude to the fact that he's gay, and the lawyer's like, are you gay? And he's like, oh no. But they all, even though they're all awful and they're all there for really bad reasons, they're all like, yes, you are, and it's fine that you are. Like even though they're the worst people ever, but they're still they're super tolerant, and like that's always been like a key feature, I think, when it comes to like Mac's sexuality in the show.
That they've never actually given a shit. They just want him to be him. That's
they want him to stop being annoying more than anything. It's got nothing to do with
absolutely, especially. Yes, that is total agreement. I do love that episode because it's the realization at the end where he goes, oh yeah. And he just walks out and you can see he's just lighter than air. And
he's not doing it because of the ticket either at the end. Because I'd say that was the thing. It was like, oh, all I have to do is admit I'm gay and I'll get the ticket. Great.
Yeah.
And then the realization, then he gets the ticket and it's great. And he's like, okay, they've went through that many lawyers or that many like decision makers that he gets about. I think he ends up with like $10 or something like that. It's like, well, that Mac he's having a good day.
This is like that episode's such a great example as well of how they can like all carry like a 20-minute like episode of a show just by sitting in a room and like shouting basically.
They don't really have to go anywhere, it's just that room.
There's loads of episodes that have like zero movement, like all of the like Charlie McDennis ones.
I love Charlie McDennis. So I can't believe we've just getting to this point and we're talking about Charlie McDennis. It's mine and my husband's favorite game.
Because Dennis is a bastard, man.
You just feel sorry for me as well, because Dee's and Dennis's little little ornaments have just been unscathed throughout the years, and you've got Mac and Charlie's is just mangled, melted mess of like an ornament as well.
Because they get to smash the toys at the end.
Just to catch Adam up, we're talking about Charlie McDennis.
Oh gosh. That's one of the best episodes ever. That like
there's 2 Charlie McDennis.
Electric Boogaloo,
Charlie McDennis Electric Boogaloo.
Because Frank gets to play with his questionable flag that he makes.
Yes, and he also outs Dennis as well as a cheater.
Yeah.
But those ones are so good because it's just like how they have like the fancy time in between the rounds where they're all like having
and then they go crazy. And then they have a moment to go crazy. I love episodes like that where you can see Dee and Dennis's relationship.
Yeah,
because there's some moments where they fucking hate each other, and they will literally, but they do a lot together. They started their podcast together. They got on crack together. They tried to get on
No one
welfare
else will hang
together.
out with them.
No.
Yeah, but they do quite a lot. One of my favorite moments, and it's awful, is when Frank convinces them that their mum's still alive, and they dig up out of grave.
Oh yeah.
And Dennis is standing there just going, "Mommy."
Oh, and it's disturbing as well when they try and convince them that Dennis was Dee's the father of Dee's baby.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just to mess with them.
when that episode's one of me, I really like that episode because it gives us one of Dennis's great speeches of Golden God.
Oh yes.
The Thor, is it like, I'll come down with 1,000 bolts of Thor if you don't get her programs. Because he decides that in that moment he wants to be there for Dee, but the minute that she gives birth and hands a baby over, couldn't give a shit anymore. But I do love that it all coincided with the birth of their baby Axel. I thought that was really lovely.
Yeah.
So Adam, what is your favorite recurring character?
Oh,
It's so hard.
it is,
Isn't it?
But he's not. It's not the best character. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I'm having a proper derpy moment. But Dee's boyfriend, where she's Desert Rose.
Oh, the guy from
soldier.
Scrubs. The guy from Scrubs.
Jean shorts.
Yeah, jean shorts.
Oh yeah, he's really
It's just
funny.
because he's so thick and innocent.
He's so canny.
She just like plays him the whole time, and it's just like like, when he dumps her as well, like she's like, yeah, well, how can you dump me, sort of thing. Like,
It's when she walks in and goes, "I'm your Desert Rose."
yeah.
That was during the Dennis system, wasn't it? When Dennis was telling everyone how to like think, and Charlie was trying to get the waitress back, so Dee gets stabbed because he was trying to flirt with a carny. But
That's amazing. Though.
But just when he's just sitting in the car smiling, saying, "Oh, it's like 100 degrees out there." Yeah, I just told him to wait there. He said, "Yeah, he's playing you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the amount of physicality that Dee, I can't think of her name off the top of my head, Caitlin Olsen, that's it. Her physical comedy is unmatched, especially the level she goes to. She was actually chosen as one of Zoe Bell. Zoe Bell in lockdown did a whole video of stunt women and action stars to do this kind of like mashed up video, and Caitlin Olsen is actually in there with them. Amongst all these amazing stunt women, she's there too, and she is unreal. I love her, but Dee as a character, I just can't fucking deal with. When she smacks her head into that car.
Apparently she really hurt herself in that scene.
She does a lot. There's a lot of things that she will do. There's certain things she can't do because of her back, but she will do the mass majority of her own stunts.
Yeah.
She will not have anyone come in and take over for her.
When she was in the bog in Ireland. When
I was just about to mention that.
I need to watch. I've only seen that season once. I need to watch it again. But God, that was so funny.
It's just the Dennis getting COVID thing just had me creased like that.
It's when they're taking Charlie's dad
up
the hill. Like, how did they?
I mean, that's a famous actor as well, isn't that? Like, isn't that Brendan
He's
Gleeson?
Star Trek.
Star Trek, yeah. He's oh god, is it the guy who was in what do you call it?
It's all
the music one.
What's
it called? The Commitments. Is that him? I think he's in the Commitments.
I think so.
Is he in? He's in Con Air.
He's in loads of things, to be honest.
Yeah, he's one of those actors he's one of those actors that's always around that you probably recognise. But he was in Star Trek, though. He did have a few.
But he's like, it's amazing how like he's like linked to everything that Charlie does. Where like he's like a cheesemonger, and he's got a fake language, which you find out is just like he's been speaking Gaelic and stuff like that.
Did he do bird law though?
No, we never got to find out. Unfortunately, we were talking about banshees and stuff like that. I thought Dee was a banshee.
Yeah. Tell you what, though,
oh god, yeah, she gets stuck in the bog, doesn't she?
Yeah. When she finally gets out, she's like, the road. And he's like, oh.
But the thing that freaks us out though the most in that show is basically when Frank tries to feed him shit soup.
Oh,
that
yeah.
actually physically made me gag just the thought of it
Yeah.
as well.
That's
He
awful.
acted it so well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so bad. There's one. So this is a show that has no swearing in it,
Really?
no F-bombs,
Wow,
apart
yeah.
from apart from one episode where they literally let Charlie Kelly go. They
Right.
might as well have just taken the pin out and let him go. And it's the Christmas episode where he goes up to Santa and says, "Are you my dad?
Oh yeah.
Are you my fucking dad?" And it's the only F-bomb.
Did you fuck my
There's
mom?
another, and I think Dennis at the end of the episode says, "Fuck no," and walks out the room. But that's the only episode that you get the
Yeah.
I
F-bombs
didn't
on.
know that, but it makes sense.
I'm sure there's
Yeah,
a
no
C-bomb
swear.
as well at times, isn't there? Because I'm sure they call D a cunt.
No,
Did they not?
Oh.
Americans
Nah.
don't really do that.
Nah.
I might
feel
just
like
be
D would,
made
though.
internally in my own head.
Yeah, no, it's the only episode that, from my recollection, that is the only one where they swear, because Charlie does it with the Santa Claus, which is just fucking brilliant when he attacks him and the amount of blood and he bites him and everything. It's so great. But
Yeah.
at the end, when they're leaving the hospital room and Frank says something to Dennis and he just goes, "Fuck no, fuck it, you know," and walks
Yeah.
out.
But that's the thing, though.
It's-
I'd say the Christmas episodes are always so wrong when you find out Mac was burgling
Oh,
people
God.
for the presents.
Yeah.
And they go around to try and make it right and say, "No, I'm not giving you the robot back. I just thought the apology would be enough."
Yeah.
It was Pablo Schreiber as well. I got a shock when I saw him
Yeah.
appear on that.
But then,
And
you
then
find
they
out,
started singing Christmas carols outside his house.
but then they find out that like all the Santas don't had a train on Charlie's mum.
So he doesn't know which one. Yeah, that's
Did you
that's the
fuck
best
my
thing
mom?
I
That
love
was
about
it.
this show, though. Like, you never get any answers to like
Yeah,
the
there's
big
no
questions.
closure.
But like, it's funnier that way. Like,
But talking about recurring characters as well, like the mothers in this are just
The mothers.
absolute.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Max
Mac's
Mam's
mum
hilarious.
and when they move in together, when they do when Dennis starts doing a TV show based on the characters and stuff.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing, that
It's
episode. I love it.
Just absolutely hilarious. And that's where you see Dennis going into the psychotic realm and going into like the craziness and thinking these are going to be my stars and this is just brilliant. And it's like no, and then Frank's getting in and trying to bang Charlie's mum again, and it's just it's so wrong and stuff like that.
It's when Dee thinks that she can go in and add something to the element, but instantly gets stuck in the stairs.
Yes.
Instantly. She's not even there 2 minutes and
Yeah.
she gets stuck in the staircase.
There's so many different things.
Oh, God.
So going back to like favorite episodes as well. So what are the like rather than just like picking other ones and stuff like that, what other like highlights would you say is the ones that jump out to you straight away?
I've got a massive one that I've always loved. It's the quarantine one where they all
I
get
knew you were
stuck
going
at
to
the
say
bar.
that. I knew.
And obviously this was pre-COVID, but then obviously
Yeah.
rang really true like after that. But it's just the thing where Frank's like gets really germphobic and thinks he has to remove everyone's hair. He's just like, the filth is in the hair, and he's like approaching Charlie with a straight razor.
Is that
Like
like
when Dennis is in the bathroom and he goes, "Oh," and then he's like,
Sickness
"Could a
be
sick
gone."
person do that?"
I love that
so
episode.
good.
It's great. But
that is so good.
that was me. That was that like at the beginning of the pandemic. Like I was almost like Frank. I nearly like just shaved everyone's hair off and just like
Just the weird slug thing. that he
must
does.
be pure.
Just hand gel everywhere.
Yeah. I'm surprised I didn't start drinking it. To be fair, like
It's been
There's
no
so
one.
many when it comes to this series about like
No.
good moments, but the one, I don't know if you're waiting for it, but the best one ever has to be Dayman.
yeah, that's a great one.
Damon!
It's
Oh.
so there's two parts to it. There's the concept of it where it eventually where Dennis and Charlie who's off his face on glue.
Paint.
Did he paint? Yeah, because he's got the silver thing around his mouth.
The glue helps him go to sleep with the cat food. Like that, you gotta get the formula right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
paint.
But then the idea. So I love that the concept of it comes from them too, and then the actual show,
Yeah.
and that is just pure magic. Danny DeVito's. You've got to pay the troll toll if you want to get into this
Get his
boy's
boy's
hole.
hole. He's getting
He's
no
so, so.
You know what I love about that as well? Like, there's a really later episode where he's driving like that tour boat, and he's like describing it, and he's keep on going on about it. He's like, they all thought I was saying whole, but like he's like explaining it to like the tour group he's kidnapped.
They're all like Chinese people and stuff.
It was also Mac in that episode with the stage show, the eyes.
I'm not going for laughs. I'm going for gasps.
Mac's karate moves. It was absolutely brilliant.
So
that
funny.
The whole thing is just it's like a Charlie Day acid trip.
Yeah.
And then it all turns out to be a proposal.
Yeah.
I just love
in his yellow suit.
Before like the proposal bit, I just love the rage that Charlie develops. Like as the kid fucking up. Like Dee doesn't want to sing.
Got me here, Dee. Here.
Dee doesn't want to sing.
I've seen Paul like that.
Dee doesn't want to be singing about like seducing a young boy, and he's like, and she's like, I'm gonna add a bit in. And he's like, no, you won't, Dee. I will slap you, bitch. I will slap. And then Max dressing like a cat, burglar and doing weird shit, and he's like, oh, the rape scene was really done. You're not raping the boy. There's no rape in this thing. But then
when Dee starts adding in her own bit at the end because she's clearly talking about a very young boy.
Like,
I think one of the bits that like stands out for me is I've just lost it. I've literally just lost my thought.
Just have a grilled Charlie and you'll feel better.
Oh, you've just reminded us at the episode where the science team give Charlie stuff to make him smart.
Yes.
That's like one of my favourites, and it's got that really famous British actor in. I can't remember
He's
who's
in Game of Thrones.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
And then at the end, it's like it's all just been a placebo.
Yeah,
but
it just
it's like
doesn't
Charlie
work.
becoming more and more British, and he's just going, well, you see.
He's in a wheelchair somewhere.
Yeah,
Because that's how you're smart. The musical episode as well. They've done a musical episode which is really, really good.
Yeah.
I love
that
that
the one where
one.
they wake up in their different bodies.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they're in completely different bodies.
Yes.
I'm not going to sing the song.
No, but
I'm not that daft.
But as soon as I talked about the Dayman episode, as soon as you get the song in your head, you cannot get it out. It's been like ringing like as before we went live. I put a version on, but honestly, I just hearing it over and over again, just it will live with me for the rest of my life. I do believe that I'm like, Dayman, fighting,
fighter of the night man. Champion of the sun.
It's such a weird concept though, because it's like a child's song, and then it's like he made a whole play out of it about.
But you're the master of karate and friendship for everyone. Karate. Why does karate get brought up a lot?
Because to be fair, we're kids of the 80s. Like we had like
we thought karate was cool.
Karate was like
that's
modern karate lessons and stuff. We had the Karate Kid. We had all the China O'Brien movies and stuff like that. We had Chuck Norris before he became strange.
Yeah, that's true. I forget what genre
and we had the best
era I come from.
But not the best karate movie, but the best ninja movie. The Turtles movie came out and just rocked all the world.
I thought you were going to say Three Ninjas.
Oh no. I'd rather say Suburban Commando over that. So yeah.
Wow. I do love how Mac thinks he's really good at karate though.
Yeah.
And all he does is
We've all had that friend though as well, though.
Yeah.
Who thinks they can fight?
But when we got the guy who plays Ted Lasso on as well, like, and he's like doing the initiation.
Oh yeah, Smitty.
Oh yeah, their friend. I forgot about Jason Sudeikis was in this.
Yeah, and he's like Max trying to do like a roundhouse kick to kick the bell, and he's just like doing this flimsy little crappy kick, and he's just getting the piss took out of him. And they realize
he's always like, oh no, wait, I didn't do it right, like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's just too realistic.
I love the reveal of his name as well, Ronald.
Yeah.
McDonald.
yeah.
That's another really good episode, the school reunion.
The school reunion, the dance.
Oh
when you all think it's like perfect, and then all of a sudden the reality kicks in, and
And
Max
he's just like,
Puts the Mac with his shirt open, yeah.
It's like, "Nah."
And it's like that Jock says the day I was going to let you give me a hand job after this. So wrong.
That's the Tools episode as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, it is
It's such-
because they have to like regroup, don't they? Because they get made fun of too bad.
That is such a good episode. I forgot about the dance scene.
It's Mac's dad as well. I guess we haven't talked about him, but he's
yeah.
Oh
hilarious.
yeah.
He is.
You felt sorry
He's
for
a good character.
It turns out he's nice at the end. Yeah.
He's like, I wasn't going to
Keep
kill you.
doing
I
it.
was trying to make amends. I am going to kill you now.
It's the interpretive dance episode. It's probably the
Yeah.
only time I've gotten quite emotional at Always Sunny is that dance.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought that was
I cried my eyes
beautiful.
out. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
where
lie.
Mac comes out, yeah. Like,
Yeah,
It's
it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
even Frank gets a tear in his eye.
It's Frank's realization of getting it.
Yeah.
That was the moment for me that I burst into tears because it was beautiful to watch it. And thank you to Rob McElhenney for just going out and doing it. But it's
Balls on
Yeah.
the wall.
the payoff is Frank's reaction
Yeah.
because in the end, I think Frank has seen them all as his kids.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
you're right.
loved it.
And
Loved that moment.
I just there's so many different surprises when you're going through this show as well. When the realization that Dee and Dennis isn't Frank's kids as well is just
Yeah.
absolutely well done and brilliantly done as well. It's kind of like not where it's like because it's not mentioned or anything or it's not even hinted at. But then it's just
I
brought
still
in.
think it's lies.
You
I
think it's a
all
lie?
lies. Yeah.
Sam, there's
it's
no
definitely-
law to this show. I'm sorry. There's...
There's no law.
I think it's all lies. I
you
still
can't believe
think
anything.
how awful them people are. They have to be Frank Reynolds' kids.
Well, to be fair, that gives the argument: are you really their kids, or the people that brought you up as can have their influence as well? So if they were
Yeah.
brought up by different people, they might have actually turned out okay. It's
Yeah, true.
Nature versus nurture. Yeah.
Yes.
True.
But Frank is a monster though when he comes down to it.
The- Yeah, the best kind though. Like,
when he's
fucking
trapped in that
class.
like jungle gym thing as well.
Oh god!
And then they're all part of the pyramid scheme.
Yeah, I think there was a scene on that podcast he was on that they had to like fit the part onto him. Like he was in half of it and had to bring in like another bit to like wedge him in. But he actually was sort of wedged in there until they took it
He-
away.
What he will go through. I do the episode I was referring to earlier where they're in they're submerged in the water. I really do like that episode. I love when they all
Yeah.
get put into jail together because again, like Jake said, it's another place where they can fill the
It's just-
time in
yeah.
one space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when they're all pretending to have a meal.
Oh, Dee does that really, really bad impression as well.
Mhm.
She's doing like a bomber or something.
Oh god!
Oh,
And they all-
Someone from The Wire, and then Dennis does a really good impression. Everyone's like, "That's a good impression." He's like, "What are you talking about? That was perfect."
that was such a good episode, that one. The ending was brilliant, but the payoff obviously is that when they're talking about it and they're all in white robes and it's like, oh, they've finally met their demise and they're not in an insurance company.
For a show that's been going as long as it is and having
Yeah.
15 seasons, I know that some of them's like the only short seasons as well. They've done a very British thing that didn't have like 24 episodes per season.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and the writers' strike would have been in the middle of all of that as well.
But
Right.
there's not many bad episodes or duds
No.
in the thing as well.
Yeah.
Like when you watch, I know not to slate Friends, but if you watch Friends back, there's some episodes that you kind of think, oh, I wouldn't be sad if I
Yeah.
didn't watch this again. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
with this, you kind of forget because it doesn't. It's really strange. You can name your favorite parts and stuff, but it doesn't really stay present in your thing. You can't say, oh, episode something this happened. You can remember parts, but you kind of. It's nice to go back and rewatch it and remember it again. Like I watched yesterday the swimming pool episode, and I forgot
Oh, I love
everything that
that.
happened in the swimming pool episode.
Yeah.
But it's just so brilliantly done, and I think it's all about, oh, we're upper class, you're lower class, you're going to be in the upper class pool, and Frank's just basically going in the public pool and like doing random shit just to stay well, and the hilarity of just basically greasing a watermelon and throwing it in, seeing the kids play with it, like that idea, like sounds weird, but I would have fucking loved that as a kid, like someone
Yeah,
throwing a watermelon in the pool, I would have
absolutely.
been trying to grab it and say, no, that just sounds like hilarity, but then the total stupidity of Mac and Charlie when they get stuck in the pool and
Yeah.
how easy it would have been to get out. Just they
Yes.
can't fathom or work out. And like pride, and it's like all about pride and stuff as well. But I absolutely love that episode. Yeah.
The Thundergun.
Yeah.
Thundergun, there's a recurring topic throughout. Someone's just mentioned the chat and it's just reminded us. It obviously the episode where they're going to see Thundergun when they've only got 4 tickets and Frank hasn't got one. Yeah. And then the one where they get to see the advanced screening.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I don't know why, but Thundergun really reminds me of throwback to another podcast. It really reminds me of McBain. Like, I don't know why. Like, I just imagine it to be like McBain from The Simpsons. But,
it seems that way. Yeah,
I just love the concept. I love that episode when they're seeing the advanced screening and they're kicking off because there's not enough sex. We want to see his penis.
It's too woke, basically. Yeah, they have like been very like close to like current events lately with like their episodes, because like after COVID they like did a full season rewrite, didn't they? Because they were like we can't really not acknowledge this.
And the best part about it is after that they've been picked up for another 4.
Another 4
seasons. Oh, really?
4, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know if it's included the last one in Ireland because it was announced around the time. That probably was already, done with it. That we knew that was going to happen, but they've been picked up for another 4 series. Whether or not Glenn does them all is another thing.
I was going to mention that. Has anyone got a number on how many times he has quit the show?
Oh, there's so many. He mentions it on the podcast often that he literally the big one is when he does leave. When he goes off, when Dennis goes off, that's the big one. But there's been so many times where he's going to up and leave the show. Apparently he hasn't done it for a few years now.
Well, that's good.
He does seem a bit of a temperamental like one as well, though. That's the thing. But
and also like he was in like he did like start trying to be in like serious stuff. Like he was in the Fargo TV show.
Yeah.
He wasn't playing. Really? He wasn't playing like a terribly comedic character. He was kind of like a rookie cop sort of thing. I think, if I remember right. It's like you can tell he might want to go on to like serious roles or like get in movies and stuff.
Well, he's a fan favorite for Reed Richards. Has been for quite some time now. Yeah.
Yeah, he was rumored, but I think that's going to. Darth, what's he called?
Kylo Ren?
Kylo Ren, yeah.
Adam Driver.
Adam Driver's going to be. He's going to be Reed Richards apparently.
He would have been amazing as Doom. Just saying, that would have been good casting. But yeah, he was a fan. Glenn Howick was a fan favorite for many years. He did another TV show where he played another arsehole. He's very good at playing arseholes. So, but yeah, the big one was when he up and left, and they just got to the point where they were like, we've stopped giving a shit now, because he was always in the writers' room. Never left the writers' room. He just couldn't physically face going on camera. But they've got to the point where they were like, just do what you want. Like, we honestly don't care. We carried a few episodes without you. We did it with a fucking dummy, and we still managed to get it over. That dummy, though.
It's good. Why have you got a sex doll of Dennis? It's not a sex doll.
Why is his mouth like that?
It's like Max, like, oh, I'll clean it up.
Oh God, and Mindy Kaling as well. Them episodes of Mindy Kaling, they were good. I forgot she was in it. That was a good episode. But the whole thing's just phenomenal.
Yeah, like Paul's right. I can't think of like an episode where you're like, oh, I hate when this character's in it or something like that.
Yeah.
Because like, you can say that about every episode. There's something that you've not personally liked about it, but they've done it anyway.
Yeah, that's the whole premise, isn't it? I think another episode that I always love when I get back to it is I forgot what it's called, but it's when they do it's the Bogs challenge.
Yeah,
and when they're drinking all the beer on the flight.
Where D keeps saying boss hogs instead of being bogs.
Yeah, it's so good. And then they do it like again part 2, but just the ladies.
Yeah.
And Artemis switches to wine. Like, it's so good.
And Artemis ends up selling all of her tchotchkes because they're going to the women's march. That's it.
Right.
Yes.
They're going to the women's march, so she starts using that business to sell all of her crystals.
And for some reason, Natalina Nanaprova, the tennis player, comes to D and starts saying try to inspire her, and she's like, and it's just like, why are you visiting me? It's like, I don't know, you've just got no female role models, I think.
It's when Dee tries to do Sex in the City.
Oh God.
Oh God,
yeah. Yeah.
She's got Artemis, the waitress.
And the one where the waitress has a
drinking-
shit in the corner of the
Yes,
shop.
because she's got a drinking problem.
Yeah.
You've got to feel sorry for the waitress as well. She has a shit time with everything. Like she starts off and just like getting stalked from Charlie, fucks Frank, gets
Dennis.
Gets Dennis, has a drinking problem, gets fired, works in the that restaurant that hires them all for some reason.
I just watched that the other day.
And then gets sacked from there for hiring them, even though the guy who out of two guys in a pizza shop.
Was that him?
Yeah, it's one of the guys.
Thought I recognised his face.
Was trying to buy Paddy's Bar, but then just fucked them off because they would saying they wanted a helicopter. But
I wanted a helipad.
But then, like her journey, like she's always there in like when the shit goes wrong. Like I felt like she was lovely. The one episode I actually thought she was class in was when they go to it's not Vegas. What's it called? Atlantic City.
Oh yeah. The beach.
The beach and her and Charlie have that nice romantic.
Charlie have that night.
And she's like, "Did you touch me? Did you touch me? I was high."
That's the episode Rumham.
Which comes back a few times.
Yeah.
It's the episode when she realizes the reason things go right in her life for her is because Charlie was always there.
Yeah.
Like people didn't bother her because Charlie was always interfering with them. Charlie always made sure her shampoo and conditioner were always filled up.
Just not strange.
It's not at all.
I
do
that.
love.
I'm so helpful.
Me too. With
to be fair though,
conditioner's expensive.
so Coxie, if you're watching, that's all you have to do to keep Sonia happy. Make sure a shampoo and conditioner's filled. Whatever you do to do that, good lad. I'll bring her a cup of coffee from now and then.
I do love the fact that it's the husband and wife. I do, and I love if you go and have a read of them and how they've known each other forever. But they did a show together, Reno 911, where they played incestuous brothers and sisters. So they've always I don't even think that's how they met, Adam. I think they met before all that. They're all very like collegey people.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You can tell that like that they've got like a shared like interest in like how they got into like the business and stuff.
Yeah.
Because like some of the jokes are like really inside, especially when Dee's doing like improv or like stand-up stuff. You can tell they're all coming from like that background and just like making fun of it and having their own therapy session over like the industry.
So it kind of started Always Sunny as obviously the three of them. And it was just like handheld cameras.
Yeah,
that's how it started. They were just making skits, and there is actually some footage used in the first series from their skits, like especially like background scenes.
All right.
Anything that doesn't have Caitlin Olsen in it will be something from the skit that they did, because Caitlin was added in once it got picked up by a television show.
They had somebody else, didn't they? But Mac was actually Rob was dating her. They broke up, so he kicked her off the show.
And then ends up marrying the other
new
one.
So just a hint for everyone like in the Nerdy Up North podcast or the community: don't shit where you eat, and you won't get kicked off the podcast. So no one can shag Goodwill. So he's going to stay pure forever.
Leave him alone.
You leave our Michael alone.
He's a 5-star man.
He's a 5-star man.
He's the golden god.
He hasn't got the tips anymore, bless him. He's lost his power.
Oh, no.
But yes.
Took them all away.
I forgot what I was going to say about Only Sunny there. I had a point I wanted to make and it just totally left us.
I bet it was probably meaningful as well.
No, probably not.
Yeah, he's probably going to say something horrible.
Possibly. They always seem to like poke fun and want to be mean to each other in ways, but done it in a nice way. That's the thing. It's always like pushing each other too far. If it's not like Dee or like as you said with Frank or even Dennis, I'm looking forward to see where it goes with these. If they are getting another 4 seasons,
it'd be interesting to see what they would consider a fitting finale, like for this thing.
They all have to die. They all die.
Like what?
Paddy's bar has to be blown to smithereens.
It has to be like everyone though. Like it'll have to be like all of the characters, like because the side ones are so invested now.
Or like an earthquake just takes out the whole of Philadelphia. it's not always sunny in Philadelphia anymore.
No.
But no, that's what I was going to say as well, because you were talking about like the handheld footage. The budget hasn't, like, for how popular and how like long this has been going, the budget hasn't really changed. It's still shot the kind of the same way. It's not really using any big elaborate effects or big set pieces as well. Like,
it's
I know
the cricket's makeup, I think, is the
It goes into it all, yeah.
funny sink.
Oh no.
but yes.
The intro, like the opening, that was all shot on a camcorder. Rob got driven around Philadelphia and he just took secondhand footage from the window of a moving car.
Yeah.
And that's the intro, is like all those shots of Philadelphia, just handheld cam.
God,
It's
I am
exactly
the
the
same.
music as well, because like that's the thing, like people still use that stock music and I'm like, you can't, it's Always Sunny music.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but like anything that they've ever used, like people can't, you just can't use it.
No, it's not
No.
allowed.
Well, it's the same with The Office. The Scranton, the Scranton signs, like the whole. That's just John Krasinski in a car with,
Right?
yeah,
No way.
just in a car with a handheld
It's a
camera.
really old media student trick where if you don't want to do your assignment, you do
You
like
just get in a car
you get on a bus with a camera.
and make sure you've got the sign in there. But yeah, that's just because obviously The Office was shot in Los Angeles and they just drove to Scranton, just drove around, and that was it.
And I love the idea of the naming episodes. I know they don't use it every time or all the things, but like the gang does this or the gang goes here.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know
some of the best segues, man. Like where they tell Dee she's not going to get hurt, and then it literally flits to the name of the episode, which is Frank Sets Sweet Dee on Fire.
Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah,
it's like
the episode
they're
with the
such good-
kittens.
They're just
Yeah.
such good segues.
Or they'll like say something really ominous and then like the episode title clues you in, like sort of thing, like straight away.
Or when they find Frank hanging and he just get shit, and then just goes to the...
I know.
This neck's too thick or something like that to hang.
So's Indiana
like on
Jones
the-
is
on the
apparently.
woman-
So yeah, but spoilers.
Yeah.
when they try and do the pyramid scheme one where like he cuts himself with a knife. When they're trying like they're pouring the wine on the shoe and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they're trying to use them hoovers, and then he cuts himself and he's like, "Can I use your bathroom?" And he tries to hang himself in the bathroom.
The episode where they have to go to, because the Paddy's pub's being done for sexual harassment, so they have to go to like the
Seminar.
the
Oh,
seminar
yeah.
when Rob McElhaney grabs Caitlin
By
by the crotch
yeah,
and
just like-
lifts her up.
And they're all like,
That's-
that was amazing.
How did you
Like,
do
that's
that?
like it's the complete opposite of what we're trying to teach you.
I've got a fun fact about that episode as well. Do you know that? Do you know Megan, who's the producer on the podcast?
Yes.
The really tall guy who's running that.
That's her husband.
That's her husband, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's also in the Wrexham program. He's the one who kind of documents it all.
Oh,
in
he's
Wrexham,
the
over in
writer.
London.
I think he must be a
the
writer.
tall
I
guy.
think, yeah, because Rob always
Yeah,
says he's a
that's-
writer.
That's Megan's husband. Megan, who is the unofficial member of Always Sunny. She's fucking class.
She's great. She takes no shit off them, does she?
Nah,
It's great.
Nah. You'd think she looks really meek and everything,
Yeah.
but she will literally give as much as they take. Like,
Yeah.
she's so good.
I know.
Honestly, it's so good to watch the podcast.
I know they do
Yeah.
their own podcast as well, and it would be interesting as well to see if we can do like a crossover, and like if we ever get to the heights of that, and see if we can get an only Sunny
The
guest
nerds
on
and
it.
and the creeps.
Aye, they call it creeps, don't they?
Yeah.
the nerds
If
and
you're
the
watching it on YouTube, you're a creep.
Yeah.
Just
But if
as
you're
long as
listening
like
to it-
we're gonna have to internalize all the jokes they made about podcasts, though, like on that episode where they start one, make sure we
Yes.
don't do anything embarrassing that they've already sent up
get
on the
the-
show.
The sound bar that they end up using.
Oh, yeah.
Just to replace talking.
so many things, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where this could go though. And interesting
Yeah.
because as you said, it does keep its finger on the pulse and hit current events. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting. I haven't seen the new season yet,
No,
so
me
I'll probably
neither.
be catching up
Me
that.
neither.
And just to
No,
see.
I'm one of those people who just waits a year for whenever
Yeah,
it's on
me
Netflix.
too.
Yeah, because
It's too hard to get. I don't want to bother.
No, because me and Anthony it's with it being one of our favorites, we will want to just sit and
Mhm.
watch it.
Yeah.
Um, in its entirety, and we can do that. So we have done that.
So I know we talked about favorite characters, but I'm going to ask this one now to try I think wrapping it up a little bit nicely. Which character do you most relate to, or do you see yourself in the most?
Wow, okay.
That's a really, really tough.
Oh, that is so hard.
There's no way to answer without sounding like a degenerate.
It really isn't.
Well, it doesn't have to be the main character. You could be like a side character, or you could be like a recurring character. I'll play it fair.
The level of dramatics in this person is probably me, is Artemis.
So whoever's going to be Frank's going to be banging Sammy in the skip.
I can take drama. I can really get dramatic, and Artemis is very
so
you're a dick.
So what you're saying is you've bleached your asshole. That's what you're telling us.
And also how Sammy got the part in this podcast. She done all Coyote Ugly in front of us as in the audition. And that's when we found out where Sammy doesn't wear pants. Jake?
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know how to answer this.
I wish I didn't now, Jake.
I don't know. Am I gonna have to be D because of the bad impressions?
So we'll just have to give time to talk to Jake now. Shut up, bitch.
I'm not a murderer. And
shut up, bird.
And I'm not a karate bodybuilder man or anything. So yeah, I think I'll have to be Sweet J.
Sweet J.
Sweet J.
Oh, Sweet J.
So we're just waiting for that head injury to turn him to not so Sweet Jake.
Yeah, okay.
The Twitch is going to take a dark turn after that.
What about you, Adam?
Me, well, I look more like Mac, but I relate to Dennis more.
Right. So have you ever used the Dennis system? Have you ever used the Dennis system?
Can anyone recite the Dennis system?
No, actually. No, I'm one of those people, it's funny, when me and Hannah first met,
Be careful here,
didn't do the implication.
The implication.
No. She thought I was because of the way I look, she thought, he's going to be this womanizer or whatever. I didn't even know she was interested in me because I'm not fucking oblivious. Stuff like that. So there's no way I've used the Dennis system in me. Mine's more the psychotic side of Dennis.
So he's going to be the serial killer one, so that'll be fine.
Yes.
We're going to be watching a documentary ccalled Making a Murderer, the Adam edition.
To be fair though, I was going to ask if he's got the collection of sex tapes as well, but we don't know.
No. I've been told that I'll be probably most likely to be a serial killer, jobs I've had before. So yeah, that's
all right. It'll never kill me. I'm safe.
Yeah, Jake's always safe, forever safe.
What about you,
as long
Sonia?
as we stay with Jake, we'll be fine.
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm thinking about it, and in my head, I'm like, I don't know why I'm gravitating towards saying the waitress. And
is it the drinking?
I love a drink, and I feel like I always get myself in shit situations, and I'm just I can't say that I've been stalked or adored as much as she has by Charlie. I don't have a Charlie in my life, but I feel like potentially her. I think I maybe would have said Artemis as well, though, but. Yeah. Maybe a cross between the two, because I'm definitely not sane.
Bless. Well, they both nailed Frank, so that's always thing. So.
Yeah, there's a common denominator there.
Probably it's Charlie for me, just because my attention span is very limited, and I get hyper fixated on something, and it'll be my life for the period that I'm hyper fixated on. I am very innocent in ways. I know probably that doesn't come across, but that's probably the Charlie side. But yeah, and probably get taken advantage of quite a lot, and quite shall we say?
Sorry, I'm just laughing at the chat. Your brother, and there was that time you shat on the floor, Sonia.
Wow,
that didn't happen.
Joe's
I don't
letting
know,
out
it's in the
secrets now.
chat.
It's in the chat. It's law now.
It's law now, yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck.
he's getting revenge for the Pokemon cards now. It's like, let's
Yeah,
start an online
definitely.
rumor.
He's on like a smear campaign. It's just like killing a character, like it's proper character assassination now. Like.
It would have been more interesting if he went, well, there was the time that I shared a bed with Sonia when we were kids, and one of us shut in the bed, but we don't know which one.
I
It
still haven't
became an
found out.
utter mystery.
Coxie's saying it's true as well. So
Oh, well, he's sleeping on the couch tonight.
Love
So-
it.
oh, the shit are all over the floor. That's now Sonia's legacy now.
That episode is so funny though when Frank's just like, it was me, and he's like, I've done another one over there while we've been talking about it.
It's the fact that Artemis decides to do a whole breakdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like dinner.
Investigation.
It's like dinner time, like mystery theater type
Yeah.
of thing.
Yes.
It's so good.
Oh, there's so much wrongness and some things that shouldn't work, and like when they get a gun as well, like because they're getting
Oh
robbed, it's
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
It-
So he
when,
can get his
um,
rent, an extension on his rent because he's got the gun.
when Mac gets Dennis a present and it's a fucking missile, like
Yeah.
a missile launcher, like that's a present. My God, I don't think I've laughed this much on a podcast in a long time. Like my face
No, my
Yes,
cheeks
yeah.
hurt.
Uh-huh.
It's just because you can't mention anything about this show without it being hilarious. Like I don't
Yeah.
know.
And like triggering like 9 more memories
Yeah.
like, at the same
Yeah.
time.
And I honestly, I think I could talk about this for hours. It's for a show that's not been in my life very long.
Yeah.
It's been one of my favorite. It got me and my husband through a difficult time last year. Like we had it on in the background just to block all the shit out,
Yeah.
and that's what we were with. These guys, they got us through it.
Life coaches of the worst.
Absolutely,
How not
of
to
the
do it.
worst kind.
Yeah, cautionary.
But saying that though, like not saying I would do it now, but when I was younger, I probably would have tried the Dennis system, and I have got the breakdown because I know Jake asked it before.
So I was going to say, yeah, can anyone recite it?
So it was demonstrate value. So Dennis pretends to purchase medicine for his ill grandmother, Caitlin. So he proceeds to do stuff to demonstrate value. So that engage physically, nurture dependence, neglect emotionally, inspire hope, then separate entirely.
So
All
bad.
done
Wow.
with his beautiful wife.
Yeah.
How to
And when he's
The
like
implication is the
discussing
best.
about being on the boat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like, no, but she wouldn't do that because of the implication.
The implication.
Oh God.
It's Dennis's. I think it's Mac. Sorry's realization.
Yeah, when he's like,
Yeah.
wait, what?
What?
Of, the fuck?
it's the
He's like, no,
implication
no,
that
no,
we're
no.
stuck here together.
But because it's Matt, there would never be any like Dennis would never acknowledge his opinion as like anything
No,
he needs to
exactly.
listen to.
No, no. I've just watched the episode there before he came on where they're all deciding who's their best friend.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
Mac and Charlie doing their own thing, and Dennis is trying to like get in on it, and he's like, "But what have you got there, walkie-talkie?" And he's like, "Oh, do I get it?" He's like, "No,
No.
you don't get it." And he's like trying to do everything nice for him, and he's like, "No, you just need to get away from me." And then Mac comes in to try and get Dennis to be his best friend by giving him a walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
And then they realize at the end, as long as Frank's not there, they're all best friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the worst one.
Yeah.
So is there anything that we've missed off that you just want to talk about?
There
before?
probably is,
Mhm.
but
There'd be like 101.
Yeah,
things.
Yeah, I think
I would
this
love to
episode
come-
will be like 10 hours long if we're talking.
exactly.
Yeah.
I would love to come back to it at some point
Same.
once like the new seasons have been on and everything.
Mm.
I think that'd be really fun.
Yeah, once it's like had a finale.
Finale,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a good
yeah.
idea.
A bit like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Now we got that like out, like finished and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hopefully they do hit the landing like as well as that. But yes,
Oh, I've got no doubt in my mind that this
Yeah.
isn't it. Nothing. It's I don't think it's going to disappoint at all.
No.
If it sticks to the true Sunny way of things, then we're all in for a ride.
very.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're too smart, like writing wise, to let it
They are
fizzle out. I
fucking
think.
Phenomenal writers. Honestly, if you want to get an insight into Sunny, into them, into their how, they're incredibly creative. It's stupidly how stupidly talentedly creative they are.
Yeah.
Go and either listen or I'd recommend watching their podcast.
Mhm.
The episode where they all go to Rob McElhaney's and get drunk is
Yeah, it's
fucking
great, isn't it?
hilarious.
Absolutely mint.
They get Megan drunk. Caitlin joins in for a bit because obviously they're at their house. It is, but Charlie Day is off it.
Yeah.
Can't even talk by the end. It
Poor
is so
Charlie.
good.
Poor innocent Charlie. Cheer up, Charlie. We need a Willy Wonka episode. That's what we need.
We do not.
Oh,
It should be like an hour and a half long rant about Grandpa Joe. So don't count me in.
that'd be great.
You fraudster.
He's not disabled at all.
But yes. So guys, thank you so much for the episode.
Thank
Like as
you.
you said, I've never laughed as much. Thank you, Jake, as always. Sonia, it's always a pleasure having you on. And thank you for Adam popping his podcast cherry finally.
Debut.
Yeah. Apart from all the music you hear all the time,
Yeah.
that's him too.
Yes, and
He is
Well,
always
hopefully there'll be more.
present.
He
well,
plays it live, like, you know, whenever Paul's like wasting 10 minutes at the start, that's just Adam sitting there.
to be fair, he nearly walked up when I told him he wasn't at the start of this episode, which I felt bad, but I'd say
I was like,
but I think I couldn't do an episode without having Dayman playing though.
I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
Yes.
I'll allow it.
So tomorrow, if you tune in for Monster Monday, we have a special guest. Well, I don't have a special guest. Sammy has a special guest with Dan.
Hang on. There we go. Oh, my t-shirt's gone.
So I've got
It's a monster mystery.
Scooby Doo.
Go.
It's been stolen.
Yeah, Monsters Up North as an episode with the creature of the black tattoo.
Yes.
His artwork is amazing, but he is well known in the horror community as well. They are talking about a very cool movie monster, which is Predator, and no, that isn't the royal family.
We go off on a few tangents, but it's well worth it. It's a brilliant episode, and Gareth is an absolute talent. Really go and check out of his work. All of his links will be on the episode description.
Very much so. And yes, and Jake and Goodwill will be twitching through the week, and we are debuting a brand
new show.
New show this week.
New show? What?
New show.
Where I'm going to be interviewing random people who have online lives.
Oh.
So the first one is Slide and Sloop, our good streamer friend, who I've known for a long time. So I was getting a softball guest in, first. But yeah, I just had a chat about how she got into streaming and stuff like that.
Nice.
So it's informational as well.
So
as
what day is that? What day is that on?
That's going up Wednesday.
Nice.
Go on Wednesday.
We are covering all grounds. We are
We're gonna have one every day of the week at this rate.
Wednesday,
Then I'm
Friday,
fucking
and
sick.
Sunday.
No, I didn't mean that at all. But yes, that is going to be Jake's baby, and probably, like I say, it might be an idea for Sonia to have a word with Jake, because could be an interviewee.
Me asking questions. I can't answer questions. I know nothing.
Don't worry, it's not going to be like Mastermind sitting on the chair. Name.
It's gonna be. It'll all be about that poop.
So, what
Sonia.
size was the poop?
Name your 10 facts about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Just go back and watch the episode, please. But yeah, so that is debuting on Wednesday. Then Goodwill and Graham will be live and trekking up on Friday. Then Sunday, what is Sunday's episode? Lost now.
I think isn't that movies that you love that everyone hates?
All right, so
Is
Our
it?
bad movie beatdown episode.
all right. So is it Jake just telling us all we should all love Batman and Robin? Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
1/5 of it. Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, that's that one. And I will be being a guest as well, because like I say, I'm not part of the hosting duties, so I'll be a guest on the Monsters episode the week after,
Yes.
where we're talking about.
You're gonna act like a guest though.
I do. I have been well behaved. I was well
He's
behaved.
very,
On
Yes,
the
he-
Trekking
he's-
episode, I was very well behaved. That's good.
You were actually. You were.
he's been on Monsters before. He was great.
Yeah, after
And we're going to be talking about Pennywise on
Yes.
the next Monsters After Predator, so that's going to be interesting.
I love
childhood trauma coming out from the pores
Everyone's
You know.
favorite spider clown.
Did a
Yes,
clown
yes.
touch you, Paul?
I've touched
Show
many
me
of
on the clown where he touched you.
I've touched many of the clown's twisters.
Oh,
Can you have like Tim Curry in the background? You know, like when he's on top of the library and he's just like, I want that
Beep,
gift
Richie.
going while the podcast's on.
Yeah.
Beep, beep.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Rinse have it in a can.
But yes, that's going to be coming up. So we have got a lot of stuff in the
Yes.
pipework and a lot of
A
stuff.
lot
coming up.
of stuff.
And if you haven't checked it out already, please check out. Well, probably watch the movie first. Go on, if you after you've
Yeah.
seen the Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, we did actually watch it and review it yesterday. And not to give any spoilers, we actually enjoyed it, which surprised me.
Yeah, I was scared.
Yes, but yes, that was a good one. But yes, thank you everyone, and hope everyone's had as much fun as we have.
It's been great.
Yes,
Been amazing.
Have you got any
It's
plugs,
so fun.
Sonia?
Oh, just give us your Prime subs on Twitch, thanks.
Nice
Worth it.
one, Sonia.
Hand it over.
No, like if anyone wants to follow me on Twitch, I do spooky indie horror games every Friday night at 9:00, and I get drunk while doing it.
Mhm.
And I've had to put a warning on my
yeah.
channel, which now says you must be a mature adult to watch my streams, because apparently drinking on streams and having them child friendly is not okay. So
No,
that
I
means you
can't-
have to get drunk when you join, because it's an adult
Yeah.
drinking stream. So there you go.
We did actually say on we have to say before we put the episodes out that the episodes for YouTube aren't child friendly, otherwise it disables the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's strange, but young people can't chat apparently. Any plugs
Oh,
for
well.
yourself there, Adam? I know you do. Like you say, any albums coming out soon?
Well, to be fair, I've always got music on the go and that, but if people could just like listen to me music on Spotify, that would be awesome.
Cool. And
Yeah. What's it under? Like Adam Ashbridge?
Yeah, it's
music?
under my new album's under Adam Ashbridge, just Adam Ashbridge,
Okay.
Cool.
And
And,
Scorched
Amazing.
Earth, it's
Yes.
called.
and it's a
Fuck yeah.
shred metal
Nice.
wank fest.
Yeah.
What a way to promote yourself, Adam.
Yeah.
And he's available for commissions if you need music for projects and stuff. Because I've
Just
definitely
like the
taken
one you're
advantage
going
of
to hear
that.
at the end of here.
yes.
Yes.
But we don't.
So-
I think Adam did that as a favour. I didn't pay him. I'm not going to lie.
Don't worry. I've paid him, Paul. Don't worry.
He's paid his don't worry.
Okay.
He got a T-shirt, I think.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I forgot I was going to wear it tonight, and I totally like.
No, he wanted
Just
to
do
show
what I
hand.
do, Adam. Just fling it at the back just for promotion.
Yeah.
Yes, and just
I will
one,
next time.
just one announcement as well. We have got a special event coming up soon. We've got a young lady turning 40, so Sammy's birthday is coming up. So if anyone who is watching wants to buy Sammy a present,
Yeah.
she takes gifts. Just send her a message.
I did not tell him to do this. But I am
Everyone-
turning 40 very soon. It is my month of 40.
Send Paul any cash gifts.
Yes, donate to Sammy's birthday fund. She wants presents.
Nobody will see it.
I'd buy her underwear and she'll wear it on stream. Honestly, let's make it creepy.
Wow. It's gone from a lovely gesture to creep. This
Yeah.
is definitely an Always Sunny episode.
I just love that. I've just read on the chat there. Joe just went. Jake doing a good job of plugging Adam's stuff, and Adam's just like, yeah, whatever.
Hey, it's hard to remember everything
See,
when you're on a stream.
See, I've always been the type of person like me. Guitar playing should do the talking. I shouldn't have to talk. You know what I mean?
I know,
Yeah.
but that's the thing, though. As I found from doing a podcast, just doing the podcast doesn't get it out there. You have to try and find other ways of getting out there, which is very difficult. And
Yeah.
it's just getting people like yourselves invested or involved. Builds that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you are amazing what you do, but if no one knows where to find you, then it's always hard.
I think it's because I've been so used to gigging all the time,
Yeah.
and then the pandemic hit, and then anxiety said you can't be on a stage anymore.
But it's
So-
it's
But
one
at least
step
you found
at a time.
different. At least you found different platforms, and we will always promote your shit.
Yes.
And I still need to start my own Twitch, as I said I was going to do like a year and a half ago.
Right. Just join Jake's. It's fine. He's the Twitch governor now.
Well,
He has a bit. We've got our terrible game players club.
Yeah.
that we do sometimes,
yeah.
which will be returning now that everyone's settled down. 'cause
Yeah.
we will-
Before we leave, the vote is in. Is Adam a giant, handsome hunk of a god? 66% said yes, and 33% yes, and I need a Kleenex.
You filthy animals. But
Yay,
you
boys.
push those numbers up.
Crunch those numbers.
Push league.
Well, thank you for all those lovely votes. Warms me black heart. It does.
The only thing to watch out for is be careful what you wish for on this podcast, because Donna actually went out and bought Goodwill pants the other week. She has pants with Goodwill's face on, so yes.
Right, so what's that mean for me then?
Yes.
You just wait at it.
Don't be in a room with Graham by yourself.
When you least expected something will
pop up in the dark. But yes,
well, as long as it's unexpected, I'm sure it'll be the anxiety won't be too high.
But that's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I can't be left alone in a room with Sammy's mum. Yes.
Wow, we nearly went the whole episode.
Yes. See, continuity. That's what we've got to keep going. The continuity. But
yeah.
But yeah. So same bat time, same bat time. I'm going all SunnyCon on us now. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Stay nerdy, everyone. Bye.
Bye.